Well, everything rolls together these days, doesn't it? Law and order, a hot button topic amongst you, the gang shootings, a wave, some would say, of lawlessness and crime, and a new police minister to replace Poto Williams, Chris Hipkins, who we had on last week. We'll get on next week because he promised to come back with us for some ideas on cleaning up them streets. But he was on another media channel yesterday with the National Party spokesperson on police, Mark Mitchell. And they got into a spat, which Chris Hipkins, the Minister of Police, turned into an issue of diversity and misogyny. And you see, I think this is just Labour's thing now. They're desperately trying to get back all the female voters. So it's all about misogyny and it's all about abortion, even if it's really not, even if it's really about crime and law and order. So for his side of what seems a very weird spat, we are joined now by the National Party's police spokesperson, Mark Mitchell. Mark, good morning. Welcome to the platform again.
Morning, Sean. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
All right, so what went on with Chippy yesterday? How did all this start?
Well, it all started with me basically saying to Chippy that in his first week as the police minister, after having the Prime Minister come out and clearly state that Labor had lost the narrative and lost focus on our police service, he'd made some big promises about giving the police the tools that they needed. So the second week in, when he puts questions in the House to himself, patsy questions in the House, my expectation is that he's standing in the House and actually starting to outline and explain some of the tools and some of the things that actually he, as the incoming police minister, dealing with a situation in New Zealand of lawlessness and a crime wave, violent crime wave across the country, that he would start to explain what those tools would be and what he intends to do to make New Zealand safer. But he didn't do that, and so I called him out on it, and in true Labor fashion, since I've had the portfolio for the last 6 months, Sean, they have tried to put every label they can on me, whether it be sexist, misogynist, racist, gendered language. They've tried everything.
So how did he get you on the misogynist thing or the sexist thing?
Well, it's because his patsy questions in the House were talking about police diversity. Police diversity, the police have been running a very, very good program for the last 30 years, ensuring that they're an organisation that reflects the communities that they serve, and they're doing extremely well on diversity. They don't need the minister helping them along with that. They're doing a great job. What they need the minister to do is do what he said he would do and come to the House and with some tools for them to use to actually deal with over 40% increase in gang numbers, 21% increase in violent crime. We had 4 people stabbed in Auckland last week, and we had a woman tragically stabbed and killed, the mother of an 11-year-old boy in Christchurch. They still don't have a firearms prohibition order. They still don't have that to actually take guns out of the hands of gangs. So those are the issues that he should be talking to and addressing. Those are the issues that the Prime Minister said needed to be addressed. Those are the issues that he said last week needed to be addressed. Still, we haven't heard anything from him.
And, in fact, what he does, he turns around and points the bone at you and says, I don't know, you're spreading disinformation, you don't like women, you're pro-abortion, you're anti-abortion. I mean, they just seem to throw anything at anyone these days, don't they?
Well, it's cheap personal political attacks, and it just shows how devoid of ideas they are. It just shows how desperate they are, and that they're actually put into they've been backed into a corner. And that's because they're hopeless. They can't deliver on anything. You know, when you look at the law and order portfolio, or the police portfolio, I asked for that, Sean, when I came in, because I had never seen the levels of lawlessness that we're currently experiencing as a country. In the last 6 months, we've put enough political pressure on them, media pressure and public pressure, that they've actually have stood up a dedicated task force, or they are in the process of doing that with Operation Cobalt. They are reviewing the police pursuit policy, because they're realising that ram raids and youth crime are being fuelled by the fact that they understand that the police have an inability to actually do anything. So, you know, we have pushed them into some changes, but they've got to get serious, and he's got to step up as the incoming minister and actually come out and present exactly what the plan is and what he intends to do to support our police service.
All right. Look, while I've got you here, another issue has come up. It has been revealed that police have confirmed sound cannons were deployed against protesters at the recent parliamentary protest or the occupation. What do you think of that?
I've got no detail on that, but I have got the Commissioner in front of the Select Committee today and the Minister, so I hope that we'll get some more detail. What I would say is this, is that the protesters that were on Parliament grounds, the police have been asking them for 3 weeks to peacefully leave, pack up their tents and leave.
Yep, agree with that.
And they refused to do that. So anyone still on the grounds was there because they were making a decision to engage in civil disobedience. And the police, of course, were trying to end that protest as peacefully as they could. And unfortunately, because the protesters chose not to leave, and they chose to...
Some of them, and let's say it wasn't the vast majority of them who were peaceful.
My attitude to that, Sean, quite simply was this. At the beginning of the protest, there was genuine middle New Zealanders there that had had a genuine issue that they were protesting, right? As the protest went on, I saw myself that a lot of those good people...
Look, I don't disagree with you, but I'm also asking the question, did you know that the police have sonic cannons?
No, I didn't know that. I wasn't aware of that. And like I said, I'll ask some more questions about that today. But
hang on, Mark. Hang on, Mark. You've been the police spokesman for 6 months.
Yep.
I didn't know that the police in New Zealand had sonic cannons. How did the police in New Zealand get sonic cannons without the public knowing about it? Is there a procedure for the use of this is, look, I'm sorry, the Official Information Act says, please submit. They deployed 2 sonic cannons against the protesters at Parliament. I am now finding that someone in the opposition, a highly placed MP whose portfolio it is, was unaware police had this weapon. Yep. It is a weapon which turned on does not discriminate. There were kids at that protest, Mark Mitchell. Children.
That's not the police's fault. That's the responsible.
If police turn the cannon on, the sonic cannon, and aim it at kids, that's their fault.
Well, I don't want to. I mean, I don't know if that happened, and we need to find out. That's why the review is ongoing, and I'm not going to comment on their tactics on the day until the review is finished. But yes, you're right. I didn't know that the police had sonic cannons as a tactical option, and certainly the police commissioner is in front of the Select Committee today, and I'll be asking more about that.
Could I ask you on behalf of all New Zealanders to ask about that and make that a priority?
Yeah, no, I will ask about it. It is an estimates hearing, so I don't know if the chairperson will allow the question, but I'll certainly try and I'll ask. I think there's a high level of public interest, and so it would be good to hear more about that. Fundamentally, do I support the police and the tactics and the way they went about dealing with
I think they were stuck between the devil and the deep blue sea in a lot of ways, weren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. But yes, I mean, I agree. I don't know any of the details around these sonic cannons, and I'll be very interested to get some more information from the police. All
right. Meantime, Mark Mitchell, are you a misogynist sexist?
Absolutely not. And look, normally I'd take offence in any other given situation, but the one thing I have learned with this Labor Party is they're very quick to try and shut down debate and try and label people as being racist and sexist. So I'm not taking it too personally, because it's just a tactic that they use to try and attack and shut down debate.
All right. Where are you on abortion?
I'm pro-choice, so I voted for the legislation, and but the leader Chris has been very, very clear that this will not be revisited, it will not be relitigated, that the matter has been settled. Let's move on. Yeah,
it seems to me, though, a whole lot of journalists and activists, and indeed the government, just aren't going to accept that. They want to almost paint the National Party as anti-woman, as anti-abortion, no matter what facts are put in front of them.
Yeah, look, that's true, Sean. But you know what? I just believe actually Middle New Zealand get it.
Yeah.
They can see through a lot of this stuff, and they know that it's now the Labor Party who are in a pretty desperate situation. They haven't delivered for New Zealand over the last 5 years. They don't really have much capability sitting inside their cabinet, and people are starting to see and understand that. They realise that the country needs to be put back on a positive track, where people want to come to New Zealand, where our young people don't want to go to Australia, where there is plenty of opportunity, where businesses can have confidence and can plan for the future. And I think they understand that the National Party is the best bet. Next year, it's incumbent upon us to work as hard as we can to stay disciplined and to show Kiwis that we're ready to govern next year.
Mark, I thank you very much indeed for your time this morning, and I look forward to you asking some questions about the sonic cannon at the Select Committee today. That is the National Party's police spokesperson, Mark Mitchell. Look, the more I think about it, and thank you, Paul, for drawing this to my attention, the more concerned I am that a weapon has been introduced into the arsenal of the New Zealand Police with, apparently, it would seem, no public debate. I want to know if anyone out there who was aware that the police had sonic cannons. Remember when we introduced tasers, the massive debate we had over tasers, the parliamentary oversight as to how and when they would be used and what the procedures would be? Well, I'm sorry, I'd look at a sonic cannon as a particularly sophisticated weapon. I don't know much about them because I presumed that we wouldn't buy a weapon and turn it on our own citizens without at least actually making them aware. And there were kids at that protest. I don't know if you can aim a sonic cannon at one particular person or if it is an indiscriminate weapon. I'd put it this way too. Okay, you're in a protest, you're in a demonstration, a whole bunch of fire trucks turn up or a whole lot of vehicles turn up with water cannons on the top. It's a pretty clear warning if you've got eyes that if you stay where you are, against the law, you're going to get wet, right? And you can make a logical decision. Or a bunch of police turn up with batons and tear gas and helmets, you can pretty well expect that at some stage you might be physically moved on, okay? And there's a procedure where police tell people to move. If you remain here, you're breaking the law and we will move in and we will arrest you. Problem with the sonic cannon is, should they have put up a sign? I think they should have if they were going to use it. If you are here illegally, you will be targeted by a sonic cannon. You can make a decision. You can make a decision for your kids. I do not have any problem with giving police the power and the tools to do their job and to maintain public law and order. And there is a ragged line and a blurred line between public disobedience and protest and the maintenance of law and order. And it is a difficult line which the police walk. But the more I think about it, and I'll freely admit, there was a whole lot of stuff at the time, pitching devices saying, oh, they're zapping us with rays and ray weapons. And I'll be honest, I thought, yeah, nutters, okay, stop smoking the wacky-backy, get back in your internet chat room. But here we have it. It's true.